This is going to be a long story. I don't really care if anyone reads this. I just have to get it out. Everything, me, used to be so normal. Until, well, we'll get to all that in a minute. The horror I've experienced isn't going anywhere. I'm 19. I've lived in Sprucebrook my whole life. It's a good place to live, I guess. It's in the mountains, surrounded by trees. It's not exactly the middle of nowhere, but it's not the middle of somewhere either. There isn't much to do here. It's a quiet place. At least it used to be. I would give anything to have things quiet again. It all started the summer after I graduated high school, 1 year ago. Me and a couple buddies, we'll call them Aaron and Sam, had made a pact earlier in the year that we would experience everything in our town before we all had to leave for college. We were starting to realize that we'd been taking our idyllic childhood homes for granted and wanted to make sure we took advantage of it before we left for good. Aaron wanted to hike some trails we'd never been on. I wanted to try everything on the local diner's menu. But Sam wanted to spend the night at the Little Bear Motel. Everyone in Sprucebrook has heard the rumors about Little Bear Motel. It's located at the end of a dirt road near the town limits. You'd be surprised to learn of a haunted motel in such a small town. But boy, you'd be surprised. Empty now, it's been the site of several unexplained deaths. Serial killers and paranormal activities are said to occur nightly. The last guest checked in 15 years ago and never checked out. Police found no sign of the final guest or of the owner, who'd lived on the property. A few years ago I drove up to it, but I never dared to get out of the car. The place has a rose red vibe. It's alive. It's like it knows you're there. Naturally, I told Sam he was nuts. Sam's a bit stubborn, though, so he just said we would regret not experiencing a real haunted house and that it would be a great story to tell everyone in college. He said it would be fun. He was so wrong. It was a Friday night. Sam was incredibly enthusiastic. Aaron and I, less so. We packed a backpack with some food and water, and extra batteries for our flashlights. It was still light out when we headed down the dusty dirt road. As we approached the motel, the radio went static. We were freaked out, but Sam assured us his piece of shit Oldsmobile was responsible for it. "It does it all the time," he said. I swear everything got a little bit darker around us. The dense trees lining the road didn't throw shadows. It was more like they were inhabited by shadows. Tall, thin, black shadows. That's the only way I can really describe it. The road down to the motel isn't that long, but the white noise on the radio and the shadows in the tree made it feel like a lifetime's drive. We parked, grabbed our stuff, and walked up to the motel. We stood in front for a bit, marveling at the sheer creepiness of the place. The neon Route 66-ish sign was rusted. The teal paint was peeling. And even from the outside we could smell the musty rot of the place. I nearly ran into the large wooden carving of a friendly-looking bear holding a welcome sign between its paws. We swatted away the flies buzzing around the door, gritted our teeth, and went inside. The lobby. The damn lobby! We should have walked out right then. We should have walked out when we saw the red paint on the wall. It said, "They're listening." Over and over and over again on one of the walls. "Probably just some kids messing around," Erin said. She sounded like she was reassuring herself more than offering an explanation. Everything was a mess. The tacky wildlife paintings that used to hang on the walls were ripped from their hangers and scattered across the floor. Pages of old magazines littered the floor. And then we saw the photograph. It was lying face up on the dusty counter, which, strangely, unlike the rest of the room, was perfectly intact. It was a faded Polaroid of a dog. It looked like a husky by the colorations. It was staring directly at the camera. And it was smiling, with human teeth. Erin screamed when she saw it. Sam was still unfazed. "Erin, it's like you said, probably some kids messing around trying to scare other people," he said without taking his eyes off the photograph. The bang of the front door being slammed shut by the wind broke his gaze and tension, and he left the photograph on the counter. We really should have turned around, went out, gone to movies, and got on with the rest of our last summer in Sprucebrook, but we didn't. We flicked on our flashlights and wandered cautiously down the hall. There were 36 rooms in the Little Bear, and we'd heard that the mysterious final guest had stayed in room 18. We decided to head there first. All the way down the hall there was "Don't look, don't look, don't look," painted in the same dark red paint as the lobby. There were a few paintings and a mirror up there too. Some of the rooms were open, but I was already too scared to look into them. When we got to room 18, it was locked. The doorknob was tarnished, and the wood of the door looked sickly. Sam, being the brawny, stupid guy he was, suddenly slammed himself against the door. It didn't budge. He tried it again. No luck. We were staring down the hall when we heard a subtle click. The door was ajar. We stood frozen. "Just the wind," Sam said. He was the first to regain mobility and start back for room 18. "Sam!" Erin shrieked. She was obviously terrified. I don't think I could have said anything if I wanted to. Instead, I felt pulled, like I was being led to the door on a leash. I felt hypnotized, drowsy. The way you feel when you zone out watching a movie. Erin grabbed my arm and brought me back to reality. Her fingers dug into my upper arms. "Jesus, Erin," I muttered. "Sorry," she squeaked. We walked into room 18. There was a grimy TV and, weirdly, a Nintendo 64 in the corner. The bed was made. The last rays of sunlight filtered through the trees, weakly glowing throughout the faded blue curtains that were closed over the window. There was nothing on the walls, save for a large, plain oval mirror. "This isn't so bad," Sam said. "You guys are such pansies." He walked right up to the mirror, looked straight into the mirror, and cockily fixed his shaggy blonde hair. As soon as he made eye contact with his reflection, the TV turned on. The volume was all the way up. We all cupped our hands over our ears and tried in vain to find the volume control. The TV alternated erratically between static and color bars, the buzz getting louder every second. Erin was screaming. "Unplug it!" I screamed. Sam threw himself to the floor and ripped the cord out of the socket. Everyone went quiet. The TV sat blank. We were stunned. "Damn, this is getting good," Erin said. No, Erin murmured. No, I did not sign up for this. No, I'm done. I'm leaving." "You can't leave, not when things are heating up," Sam said, his usual dopey, crooked smile creeping onto his face. "Besides, I have the keys. What are you going to do? Wait in the dark outside with all the spooky monsters and ghosts out in the woods?" "I don't care, I'll walk," Erin said. She was like she was about to cry. She ran out of the room, and we went after her. "Erin, don't walk. Just wait in the car. It's unlocked," I said. Hoping to calm her, she pushed through the front doors. It was almost dark. Sam's faithful gray Oldsmobile was waiting. "I should have never done this. I'm sorry." "I'll wait for you. Don't stay all night. I don't want to be out here alone for very long," Erin said as she walked towards the passenger side of the door. Sam had barely started the sentence. "Hey, man, is there something in my car?" when Erin opened the door, and the thing fell out onto her. She started screaming hysterically. It was so stunned that it took me a minute to realize it was a skeleton. A fucking skeleton popped out of Sam's Oldsmobile. "Oh my god, someone is messing with us," Sam said. He ran out to Erin and pulled her up and back to the door. The skeleton lay there on the ground, his cover in his socket, staring right up at us. Erin was over. She was done. Her face was blank. She wouldn't respond to anything we were saying. Waved our hands in front of her face, clapped loudly, yelled her name. Nothing. She was done. Her system was crushed. We sat her down on the musty yellow couch in the lobby. "We should go," I said. Even though I felt in my gut we wouldn't be able to, even if we tried. "No, she just needs a break. She's okay," Sam said. "Erin will be okay. Take it easy." As we turned to leave, I glanced at the one large painting of an elk that was lying on the floor. The head of the elk was missing entirely from the painting. In its place was a bloody stump. I stood staring for a moment, but eventually I could do nothing but turn away and keep walking. I felt the same hypnotic pull as earlier, something leading me on a sinister leash to room 18. I opened to tell Sam where I was headed, but he was gone. "Sam?" No reply. I figured he must have wandered off into another room, that he'd be out to look for me in a minute. I headed to room 18. The door was open, like we'd left it. The TV was silent, the bed still made. I scanned the room, my eyes landed on a strange square lump under the blanket that was pulled over the pillows. I pulled away the quilted fabric. Dust flew up into my face, stinging my eyes. When the dust settled, I saw that the object was a Nintendo 64 game cartridge. I picked it up. I instantly recognized the familiar, though faded, colors of the Super Mario label. I brushed the dust of the label, smiling at the thought of something as comforting as a childhood game lying around in such a creepy place. I thought, what the heck, blew into the cartridge and sat down on the floor in front of the TV. Remembering the static, I found the volume button, oddly located on the underbelly of the set, plugged it in, and turned the volume down. I fiddled with the Nintendo, managed to plug it in. I wasn't expecting it to, but it turned on. I pushed the cartridge in, and nothing. I took out the cartridge, blew on it again, popped it back, and there was a flash of light before the title sequence began. Except something was off. Mario looked sad. The audio was distorted, the picture wavy. There was a save game. It was labeled Ken. It was the hidden secret aquarium level. If you're familiar with this level, Mario is underwater and has to collect yellow oxygen coins to stay alive. In the game I was playing, there was no yellow coins. There weren't any coins at all. Mario would gradually turn blue and drown, no matter how many times he restarted the level. On the 5th try, I tried having Mario swim into one of the glass windows of the giant tank he's in. I was surprised when the window cracked. I swam into it again, and when it broke, the screen went black. And then an unsettlingly realistic image of Mario's face turned bloated and blue, appeared with the words, "You shouldn't have done that." Suddenly, the TV shut off. I pulled the cartridge out. It said Super Mario 67. If nothing else, that day had